I've been doing this ever since I was 7. I do it once a day.
He had like pea-sized bruising on the back of his head and almost looked like fingerprints like under his arms from people picking him up. And so we went in early for his 6-month checkup. When we took him in, they did blood work, and we knew something wasn't right when we didn't have the blood work back like within the same day or even the next day. And so then finally they called and they said, we believe he has what's called hemophilia. We personally didn't even know what hemophilia was or how to spell it. And at that point in time, they already had an appointment for us to come down the following week to the University of Iowa Children's Hospital to see a pediatric hematologist. It really just takes your breath away, because you just look at this baby and they're perfectly happy, healthy, and normal, and then all of a sudden you're told that you have a lifelong chronic disorder. We feared for his future. You know, what was it going to be like for him to crawl? What was it going to be like for him to walk? What if he fell down? Was my child going to die? Was he going to bleed to death? We soon learned that we have what it takes to fix him. It's just a matter of it all has to be done through an IV. So starting an IV on a child that's 6 months old, 7 months old, 8 months old is not fun at all. But I will tell you, we at least feel very fortunate that we have what it takes to fix him when things are broken. With regards to hemophilia, most people have a preconceived notion that if he gets cut, he's going to bleed to death. Beau does not bleed any faster than you or I, but he bleeds longer. An inhibitor is actually the largest complication that you can have with hemophilia, and it affects 30% of people with hemophilia A, which is what Beau has. His body views his medicine as a foreign object. So you can kind of think of it like a fever. The fever comes in when somebody's sick to fight off the infection. Well, the inhibitor comes in and it attacks his medicine. And so we were so happy that we have this great care within just 45 minutes to an hour from our home, because they were the ones that diagnosed us with a bleeding disorder. And with having that bleeding disorder, they're the only comprehensive care clinic in the state of Iowa to care for my son. The medical team is like an extension of our family. Our relationship with the University of Iowa is for as long as we live in the state of Iowa and as long as he's alive. I mean, so this is a lifelong relationship. The hematology department offers summer camp for kids with hemophilia.
They do the camp every year, and when Beau was 7, he actually learned how to do his own medicine himself. So he could actually, at 7, could mix it up, inject it right in the vein. So once we got to that point, it was a lot easier. Beau's very accepting of his condition, but from the time he was born to where he's old enough to remember, he doesn't know anything different. He's always had to have shots every day, and then if he had a bleed, get more shots on top of that yet.
Hemophilia restricts me from doing certain things that I wish I could do. I would kind of describe it as like being like someone telling you can't do this or you get in trouble. It's kind of that, except physical.
A few years ago, Carrie was out of town, of course, when this happens, but he had a bleed in one of his calf muscles and did his medicine, sent him to school with crutches, and by the time I picked him up, he walked halfway back to the building because they were out back playing, and he was just sitting out back on a chair watching them play. And we got about halfway to the building and he says, my other leg really hurts. So I picked him up, we carried him out to the truck, and that was the last time he walked for 6 months.
Beau has taught me that we can't control everything and that some things we just have to ride out. And as hard as that is, that sometimes we just have to be positive, think of the best, and to understand that as hard as today may have been, that tomorrow is a new day, and that we're gonna heal, and that we're gonna get better every single day.
When I was little, I did baseball, but I quit that after a year when I got a bleed in my arm for swinging the bat too hard. When I'm in the hospital, they always make sure to take care of me. I would say thank you for being by my side for all these years and being there to support me whenever I needed it.